Well, I was a kid growing up in Derby, and I just hated school. I always wanted to go into the military. Thinking the Navy, but somehow I ended up in the Marines. I volunteered to go to Vietnam. I was 17, and my parents had to sign for me, and they didn't like that. I had a lot of training before I got to Vietnam, so I think I was prepared. But being in that helicopter and looking across and seeing this sergeant put a magazine in his rifle and locked and loaded it and took it off the safe, I thought, oh my gosh, this is the real thing. And it was. Probably the worst day was at Cantien. The enemy got up really close to us and they nailed us good. I can remember the shell coming point blank at us, a whoosh, and hitting the bunker behind us. It exploded on the inside. I didn't hear any screams or anything. I knew everyone was dead. Those of us that were in front of the bunker hit the ground immediately. We knew that the next barrage was going to come right in on us. I remember lying on the ground and behind us with this photographer, and Wayne, who was with me, yelled at him and said, "Get down, get down." And he yelled right back at us, "It's your job to fight the war, it's mine to photograph it." And then the shells hit. And one of the shells hit right next to us. It hit right along the bunker that we were trying to get into, but didn't get into. It was scary. Then as quick as it began, it was over. Wayne and I were the first inside the bunker, and we saw people bleeding from their ears and from their mouth from just the concussion. And that's when I heard the click, click, click of the camera and stepped out immediately. The last thing I wanted to be was in some picture. I had no idea that he already got me. I was in Life magazine, October 27, 1967. The article is called "Inside the Cone of Fire" in Cantien. And when that magazine came out, I knew I was in trouble with my mother. I had been lying to my mother about what I was doing. My cover was blown because I'm running for cover, there are shells exploding in the background, and Cantien's where I spent every day for months, and every day I saw people die there. In a war situation, you see things. You see things that are horrible, absolutely horrible. It's tough when you see bodies. It's tough when you see parts of bodies. And sometimes when you look and you see other people wounded and other people dead, you ask yourself, why is it that I'm okay? I can see all those faces. I can see all those faces, and that's something I'm going to take to my grave. I think if you talk to a number of veterans, they'll tell you that they turn their emotions off. You have to. You have to turn it off. But what happens is that afterwards, those emotions kick in. They really kick in, and you have to deal with them. When I came home from Vietnam, I wanted to make sure that I could put this all behind me and that I could rise above it and just do something good with my life after that. And I remember saying, this is not going to drag me down. This is not going to make me a worse person. I'm going to gather strength from this. Now, I'm a teacher, and I think it's important that every generation learn something from the past. So I teach about Vietnam, and I think it's important that the 58,000 men and women, 8 women died in Vietnam, that they're remembered. I involve my students in writing biographies of those that gave their life in the war. And it's only when a student looks at one life and realizes that here's a life that has been totally destroyed, a family that's been devastated, can they really comprehend a number like 58,000.